Alright guys, so it is 6 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't slept yet, so we're probably gonna keep this one short, sweet, simple, and to the point, but this update though, let's take a look at this. 3.8.5. We already knew about the skill balancing. We went over that in a past stream a couple days ago. If you haven't checked that out already, either look in the event page, it's there, or check out my stream. I go over the whole thing. Some really big changes happening there. That's really, really sweet. But what we're here now to talk about is the quality of life improvements that they're doing in addition to that. And I think, again, that this is a lead up to um, more content. But they've got to fix what they have before they can release more, because we're always complaining about them not doing that. So they're doing that for us now. Um, so first off, the crystals and guild points achievable or attainable from siege rewards have been altered a little bit. If you don't win, you will no longer just get the flat 15%. The winning guild will actually get more than before, which is a really sweet change. Um, Now, that being said, the losing guilds will receive less unless you are in the third tier of each um, tier, I guess. I don't know. So like Fighter 3, even if you lose, you'll still get that flat 3% you would get before. Same with Fighter 2, apparently. Um, but at the Fighter 1 level, you have to win in order to attain that 3%. At the Conqueror level, same deal. If you... Just a second, guys. Um, if you don't win at the Conqueror 2 level, you'll receive 1% less, and at Conqueror 1, you'll receive 2% less. At C1, you're getting 7% if you win, C2, 9%, and C3, you're getting 10% now. That's a slight improvement. That's a little bit more. For Guardian, if you're only G1, like me, our guild, G1 will only get you 11% if you lose. That is a downgrade. For me, that's a problem because I'm not pulling as high a contribution as some of my guildmates. Which means I'm going to be getting a lot less crystals. Now, if you're in the G2 range, 13%, and at Guardian 3, finally, you will be getting that 15% even if you lose. Being said, now here's the big deal. If you win at Guardian 1, you'll be getting 17% instead of 15%. At G2, it'll be 19%, and at G3, 22%. That is a huge amount of crystals. 22% of 20,000. That's 5,000 crystals that'll be distributed through your guild. 5,000. Every single siege, if you win. Again, obviously, like, staying in G3 for siege battles is a little difficult just because a lot of times in that rank you're lose one, win one, lose one, win one. But even so, like, that's 5,000 crystals once a week that you're just splitting as a pot for 15 to 30 people tops. Most of those guilds are usually ranging around 20 to 25. But even, okay, so 20, if you've got 20 people, that's still 250 crystals apiece, I guess. That's not that great, but actually, yeah, that's not that great. Why do I feel like my math's wrong there? I feel like I did some math wrong there. Either way, it's a decent amount of crystals. Now guild points. Even if you lose at G2, you'll be getting 25% in guild points. If you win at Guardian 3, you can get a max of 37%. That is a lot. That's 12% more than it was before. And even at the challenger rank, like, they kept the win the same. Loss is only 1% less. There's not really much they can do there. Fighter 3, if you lose, it stays the same. If you win, it goes up to 12%, which is more than you get if you lose at C1, but less than C2. But basically, they've balanced this out. But now, if you read this fine print down here, the max amount of crystals and guild points that guild members can acquire from siege battles will be limited. This means those of you that have been cheesing this system, you can no longer get those 9 billion freaking crystals a week you guys have been getting. I've seen screenshots of people dropping like 3,000 crystals or some crazy stuff like that. That's obnoxious. And it was exploiting the system. It's not fair. Don't do that. You should not be a Guardian player in Fighter Siege, or a Guardian player in Challenger Siege, or a Guardian player in Conqueror Siege. It's an unfair advantage, and you can 1v3 their towers, and you know that, and they know that, and it's just not fun for anyone except for your crystal inbox. Don't do it. But regardless, they've stopped that from mattering. So now, the only reason you would do that is if you're carrying a bunch of your friends, which is fine. You can carry some newbies up. That's great. But you're not going to do it and gain 10,000 crystals a week for doing so. You know who you are. So instead, a guild member can acquire a reward given according to 30% contribution from a siege battle. Crystals/guild points that exceed the upper limit will be evenly distributed to all guild members who participate in the corresponding siege battle. For example, if a user ended a siege battle achieving 50% contribution with a C3 10,000 guild points and rank 2 conditions, the user will receive 350 crystals as a reward, or would have before. That's a decent amount, and you're doing it unfairly. However, with the upper limit on the acquisition, the user will now acquire 210 crystals, because 30%, and the remaining 140 crystals will be evenly distributed to the other guild members who participated in the guild siege. So even if you only won one battle, and you had some dude who was carrying you at a 50% contribution, you'll get a little bit of extra crystals from that. Seems fair to me. Like, that works out. I like what they did with that. Quite a lot, actually. Guild point acquisition and distribution will work in the same logic. Here is the little cosmetic bit that I'm super excited about. And not, I think, for the reason that most people are. This is pretty. This is what happens when you click on a user's name in chat anymore. So you've got this interface. What I assume in the middle is your repmon. The left side is... don't even know what that's for. You can view their arena defense, but it's a separate button. It's clean. It's pretty. You can see Elia, what she's wearing, and what her ride is, which I know that bit doesn't matter to me at all, but for some of you, that's neat. All of their records, yada yada yada. Record menu, the highest floor clear of TOA will be reflected of gameplay data after April 14th. So if you haven't cleared TOA yet this month, it won't show up. It'll show that you're a newbie and you've never touched it. Some gameplay info of dungeons and scenario areas will be reset in order to reflect the record menu. Targets as follows: the best time record in Kairos dungeons of Giants, Dragons, and Necro B10. The best record of Raid 1 through 5. The best rank of damage below A- in the Rift dungeons. The reset record will be newly applied with the gameplay after the update, and the record will be applied in Profile-Record menu when you renew your best records. What this means is if you click into it, I can show you guys in a few, your records won't be there anymore. Anymore. They weren't there to begin with. They won't show up with what they are, or were. You will have to rerun some of these dungeons to get your new best time again, which sucks. I'm a little upset about that. But here is a big part. Okay, so I have been begging Com2uS for this for 2 years. I have literally written them so many emails about this, I'm not even joking. And they told me they would eventually do it, but they didn't have the capabilities yet. It appears as though they have finally figured it out, and I don't know why it took so long. So Guildmasters, or Vice Guildmasters, can use this function by going to the blah 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 blah. Auto start guild battles every 12 hours has been added. You set a little settings, you leave it alone. You do your battles as normal. You don't have to actually be on every 12 hours to set these guild battles up. Now for me, as a guild leader, this was a pain in my ass. I was 2 of our guild leaders, because I was running my account, and then I was running Megan's account most of the time, because she'd be in bed by now. I was never able to go to bed on time. I was never able to go to bed before 3 o'clock in the freaking morning, because I had to be up to start guild battles or we'd lose members. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem that a lot of guilds have, and have always had. Now, the only thing with it is the members of the previous guild battle will be set as members to enter the auto battle. So if you need to bench someone, you will have to go in and fix that. There's no way to just queue up who's going to attack in the next battle. It's just not going to happen. They will not ever be able to do that, and that won't happen. But as it stands right now, you can now just click a button and walk away from guild battles, and as long as you have all the members set that should be in guild battle for the entire week, they'll be there all week. Now, this bit I don't quite understand. Arena player matching system has been improved. Users will now be able to be matched with more suitable users. Improvement will be applied to the arena that begins on the first week of May. So this data's in the game. I'm sure somebody's data mined it already. I'll have to read into it a bit more, but we won't see what exactly it means for another week here. Well, like 3 or 4 days. But I don't know exactly what that's going to mean. I mean, it's not for RTA, which it should be. It's for regular arena. But who's going to show up in your match list? Like, maybe this is only for early game players? Like how up until level 12 you won't find level 50s? I'm not really sure. If anybody has any thoughts on that, comment section, please. Let me know what you think. I'm really not sure. This is crazy. I don't know if you guys can see the big ass grin on my face right now. Okay, so daily logins have changed. I don't know if you guys can read these, but so on days 1, 7, 11, and 19, we'll be getting energy increments of 30, 40, 50, and 100, which is nice. That's standard, I think. They might have changed that just a little bit. We had a lot more mana before. Yeah, I think that's what changed. It went from mana to energy. But that mana's been consolidated. On days 2, 4, 8, 10, 14, 16, 20, and 22, we will now be getting mana in increments of 20, 20, 30, 30, 50, 50, and 100 and 100,000 mana. Which isn't that much, but it's a nice little boost at the end of the month. We're going to be getting 200k mana in 3 days for free, which, not that bad. So on day 3 and 15 is when we're going to get all our crystals now. And we're going to be getting 30 and 100 crystals. That's a decent amount of crystals. I think that's 50 more than we were getting before. I could be wrong on that. And instead of us only getting that XP booster on day 21, that 12-hour XP booster, on days 9 and 21 we're both getting XP boosters. The first will be a 12-hour and the second will be a 24-hour. That's 100 crystals you'll never have to spend again. You should never have to buy another XP booster unless you just go on a summoning spree and get a bunch of stuff you need. Like, that's 36 hours of XP booster for free that can sit in your inbox for a week. That's nice. So this is the important part, though, especially for you early gamers who are struggling to get runes. Days 5, 11, 17, and 23, we will now be getting 5 to 6 star runes. Now, most of the time, I fully expect that these will be awful runes. And you should too, because it's RNG and that's how this game works. I don't know if we will all be getting the same rune. I really doubt it. It'll probably be randomized. But on day 5, it'll be a 5 to 6 star rare grade rune. On day 13, it'll be 2 5 to 6 star rare grade runes. Day 17, we'll be getting a 5 to 6 star hero grade rune. Or above. These are all or above. These are just minimum requirements for what they'll be dropping. You could be dropping a 6-star legendary rune off one of these. And day 23, we'll be getting 2 5 to 6 star hero grade or above runes. That's 6 runes a month without having to touch Kairos dungeons, guaranteed to be a rare or hero or rare or above drop. In 3 cases, hero grade or above drop. That's, I mean, odds are you'll have one that's usable a month, is my guess. But even that one rune, like, especially for an early game player, that's a lot of change. Like, that's super helpful. Now, day 6 is a Mystic Scroll. Day 12 is 50 Summoning Stones as usual. Day 18 is a Wind, Water, and a Fire Scroll. Not or, but and. Day 24 is your normal Light Dark Scroll. And every day after day 25, instead of the original 30 energy, is now 2 legendary summoning pieces. You should be averaging about 10 a month, which is a big change. Couple of bug fixes, the skill tree that we already went over, but excuse me just a moment, guys. So anyways, let's take a look at that little interface we were talking about. And now I'm standing, it's weird. Oh, here it is, profile. I have all three of my Hell ladies back here, but if you just kind of click them, they zoom in. That's fun. That's about it. That's about all they do. If you go to record, oh no, not record. Placement settings. You can just click three monsters. The first ones you click left to right will appear just like that. Your rep will be dead center. Elia will be off to the right with whatever ride she's got. I've got the little magic disc. Looks a little funny. I might have to try to find something else. Defense info shows up as usual. If you click the guild somebody's in, it pops up just like this. I don't know what happens if you click somebody's name. Apparently nothing. Dover does his little dance. But if you go to record here, it now shows how long somebody's been playing. Apparently I've been active in Summoner's War for 1,064 days. My top arena finish, World Arena, Special League, Guild Battle current ranking, which is weird because we just clicked it, and we're G1 now. I don't know how that updates. Most of these are not accurate. They're brand new. C2 was the rank I was at when the update dropped, and Fighter 3 is the rank I was at in World Arena when the update dropped. I don't know where the Special League was pulled from. I know I've been higher than that. Not by much, but whatever. Cairo's Dungeon will not show your, if you look right here, will not show your records until you run them again. And it will only show the records that you set after this update's done. So, those of you who have gotten that one fluke run that was 30 seconds or whatever in Dragons B10 somehow, that's not there anymore. You gotta do it again. It didn't happen. Pixar, it didn't happen. Now, the Rift Beasts, as long as you got above an A-, will show. I don't know why, but they will. Your Rift Raid, that's your R5, just doesn't show up until you run it again. And as far as TOA goes, wherever you're at currently in TOA is what will show up, because anything prior to April 14th, they don't care about it. It's not the current run, it's not the current record set, so it won't show up, but after this it will. Oh, buddy. Yeah, that'll all show up. We'll be able to see that if you get F ranks. Your teams now will show up as well, so if you see a random Guardian in Arena or in chat and you want to know what they run, once they've done all of these dungeons, you can go through and look and see what they use at what time. I haven't touched Cairo's since the update, so mine don't show up, and a lot of people haven't yet. So over the next couple of days, I expect a lot of these info books to kind of fill up, and I expect this to be a little bit more helpful, a little bit less chat clog. And again, these Rift teams, so whatever they use in each Rift, okay, so you can't open up their runes based on this, though. Whatever they use in those dungeons to get their best scores, you'll be able to see those as well, including even what they use in R5, which I think, again, will be really helpful to some of those people trying to progress in chat, and also, like, help move conversations along a little bit quicker, so you don't necessarily have to go visit someone's island every time to look through. And again, like, Elia's costume, fun cosmetics, that's about it. Oh, I didn't even see I had that one. What's this one? Meh. That's about it for you guys today. I just wanted to hop on and explain this update real quick because it's really fun. And that's about it. Not too much else other than those daily logins as far as actually giving you stuff or progress in the game at all. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Praise our Jesus. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.